Okay, so I don't know where to begin. Oh man, the last time I put something up, I had like 10 million things going on, and I still have 10 million and one things going on. Uh, Recently, I had the opportunity to get another greenhouse, and it's a half acre under glass. So I can't afford a crew to go take it down, so it's put me behind on everything else that I've got going on, and I'm trying to do enough jobs to pay my bills meanwhile while I'm doing it. So as for my nursery and everything that I've got going on here that I showed before, you can see my strawberries here. I did get them in the ground. I think in my last video these were just open beds, and I got the screening on them and everything. The first year you put in strawberries, you don't get a lot, but I did get 5 gallons out of them this year, so I'm blessed to have that much out of them, which is wonderful. And my high tunnel, it's just got a lot of food in it. It's got strawberries in it too, and blueberries, and blackberries, raspberries. I put a bunch of tomatoes in there, and peppers, and miscellaneous stuff. So it's coming on all right, but I haven't had the time to water in there like I should, so stuff is a little stagnant and not growing as well as it should. And my pile of soil that I had in the woods, it's definitely went down a lot, but there's still a lot of soil there, and upgrading and stuff like that needs to be done and should have been done a long time ago. And I can't get to everything, especially with tearing this greenhouse down. I'm trying to go down there a couple of days a week and put in several hours, but it's it gets to be 120 degrees or so under that glass in that house. And, I'm 63. My body just does not handle the heat the way it used to. I used to work off the Sahara Desert on jets putting out 5,000 degree exhaust, on an aircraft carrier, and long sleeve shirts and all that. And, it didn't bother me. And everybody says, oh, it's a dry heat. I don't care. 120 is 120. I don't care if it's dry heat. The humidity makes it a little more unbearable, yes, but it's just freaking hot. Anyway, here's kind of a pan view of a couple different shots of this greenhouse. You can kind of get an idea of the expanse and how big this thing is. It's all under hammered glass. It's about 110 feet by 190 feet, so it's just under half of an acre. But it's just a huge undertaking. I don't know. I don't really need the whole house, but I would like to have the steel from the whole house to use for other projects as well. The whole top is aluminum that the glass sets in, but this is just a huge greenhouse, and more than I need. When we first started tearing down this greenhouse, there was a few people that wanted short sections of it for little greenhouses at their house. So they were here helping me tear things down initially. And, we had this whole outside wall give on us, and 10 feet by 60 feet of glass just crashed down to the ground. Thank God nobody was under it at the time, but it just kind of gives you an idea of how dangerous a lot of this glass really is, though. And when I rebuild this greenhouse, all this aluminum that's for the ceiling part of it, I'm going to revert this all to plastic. And there's just tons and tons of aluminum that I guess I'll just take to recycling and just recuperate some cost from a lot of this. But then there's 4 of these huge Modine heaters in here. These cost a few grand a piece, and these are relatively in really good condition. There's tons and tons of conduit, both threaded and unthreaded, and electrical boxes and junction boxes, and just, probably over a mile of electrical stuff in this house that has to come out. And then there's these 4-foot fans that, they're 5-foot fans. I've got 4-foot in mine, but these 5-foot fans that, and there's, 18 of these, I believe, in here, and these are a couple of grand a piece, too. And, I traded about $500 worth of fruit trees and stuff for this whole house. But I'm really only need about 100 or 50 by 80 or so feet of it for my own use. But a lot of the steel will come in useful for, just tons of other projects. Now these cross members here that go, they act as joists between the bays. I don't need all these, but I got to looking at these and I don't have tables. I was going to have to buy tables for the greenhouse eventually to grow bedding plants and stuff on. And I started looking at these joists, and two of these bolted together with legs would make perfect tops for tables. I'd have to put rat wire or something else on them to support the containers, but man, this is a freebie for framework that is an extra bonus to all this. It saves me thousands of dollars in table materials for tables, and there's other steel that I can use for legs and that type of thing as well. And then there's all these gutters, which most of the gutters I'll use. I may end up, just selling some of this for scrap metal as well. And then, there's all this conduit here, and this is just the beginning of it. There's going to be a huge pile of conduit. And, I use a lot of this metal conduit for tons of things, so this will be a blessing, although all the junction boxes and stuff I probably will not need all of, but just, a ton of steel in all this. And then I come back to my original opening shot. This is my workbench. You can see the jitney still laying there, the coaling tower, which I'd started trying to find parts and stuff for, and this has not been touched in months. I really miss playing with my toys. Life is not fair. I want to play with my toys. But, I look at all this as a blessing. It's going to take me, I'm hopefully going to buy land for the nursery this fall or next spring. And it's going to take me a couple years to rebuild all the infrastructure and move plants and get everything situated on the new property. But once I do, and hopefully before then I'll be able to play with toys. But for a couple of years of rebuilding, my time is probably going to be limited to some extent. But I've made tons of good business connections, and I know where I'm going. I need about 10 acres, and I can grow tons and tons of profitable food, flowers, fruit, just tons of stuff. So I know where I'm going. It's just, time consuming, and it takes me away from my toys. I really want to be working on this jitney, and I apologize for not putting, scratch building content out there, but life does come first, and unfortunately I'm just in a position where I have to take advantage of things that are coming my way right at the moment. Now, I finally did work on my logo for the business and came up with a good, I think, marketable business name. My old farm was Anarchy Farm. My wife's name was Annie, mine was Ark, and we added her I to the end of it, Anarchy Farms. And she wanted the name when, we divorced, so I let her have the name for the farm. So, I started playing around with a lot of different things, and I came up with 3B Farm. And, I'm using 3 honeybees as the characters which, donate the farm, or replicate the ideas of the farm. But basically, it's not the 3B there. One is berries, blooms, and bushes, which are the 3 legs of the business that I'm going to be building. And I just thought this was a good marketable name. And, when it comes to advertising, I can use each bee individually to advertise certain things that are in season and that type of thing. So now I have a logo. I need property to make a business happen. But in any case, things are coming together, and the future is looking better, and things are bright. I know this, it seems like a whole lot is on my plate right now, but it's not really gloom and despair. I take everything in stride, and I know where I'm going to be in a couple years, and 3B Farm is going to give me the money to play with my toys. So thank you for coming back and watching this short blip with me. I just wanted everybody to know still what's going on in my life and why I'm not playing with my trains and putting content out there. I hope all of you are in less stressful situations in your life and are able to spend time playing with your trains. Happy model railroading.